Listen, right now, I want to talk to those of us who are doubting God because you've been praying for someone for a long time and nothing's happened. Maybe you've been praying for 2 years, longer. Maybe it's a distant spouse or a grown child and a lost friend that you're just aching about, and you keep praying, and you keep praying, and you keep praying, and you're starting to wonder if it's working or not. And the answer is yes. Think of when God heard Abraham on the way to the altar when he said to Isaac, the Lord will provide a sacrifice. He heard Rachel when Rachel asked him to open her womb. He heard Moses on the mountain when he called on God to change his mind. He heard Jonah in the whale when Jonah repented from his sinfulness. He heard Gideon when he asked for confirmation before battle. He heard Samson between the pillars crying out for God's power and God's help when he would die with the Philistines. He heard Elijah on Mount Carmel when he summoned fire from heaven. He heard Elisha when he asked God to reveal the angel army that was surrounding him, protecting him. He heard David in the pasture, on the battlefield, and in the palace. He heard Daniel in the lion's den. He heard Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego as they defied Nebuchadnezzar's command to worship him and trusted in him as they threw him into the flames. He heard Naomi weep for all she'd lost. He heard Job do the same thing. He heard the prophets cry out on behalf of his people. He heard Mary magnify him. He heard Zechariah and Elizabeth praise him. He heard cries for healing. He heard cries for sight. He heard the agony of Mary and Martha before Lazarus was resurrected. He heard the centurion's faith when he healed his daughter. He heard Peter ask for help when he sank out in the water. He heard the Samaritan woman ask for living water. He heard the criminal on the cross ask him for salvation. And God the Father in heaven hears the cry of his Son as he says, Father, would you forgive them? He heard the prayers of the early church in the book of Acts in their meeting place as they were being persecuted and torn apart. He heard the sick cry out to God for healing through their prayers. He saw as he would cast out demons through their prayers. He brought revival through their prayers. He raised up missionaries through their prayers. He brought the known world to the knowledge of Jesus Christ through their prayers. All of this is why I believe that if we have confidence in God, that if we ask anything according to his will, he hears us and he answers us. James 5:16 says, the effectual prayers of a righteous man does something. It availeth much. So expect it. I'm going to pray, but nothing's going to happen. Come on, man. Expect it. We expect the God who hears us is powerful. We expect the God who hears us has the ability to release his power through our prayers, just like he always has. So let's unleash his power. Unleash his power in our homes, in our church, in our city, in our world. Man, the world's so dark out there. Seeing the news. Pray. God unleashes his power through the prayers of his people.